So there's a platform we've been working on for a long time that seems to not making progress, but we're going to be doing something about it to make some changes. Just like many of us today trying to make changes in our lives. Hey, this is Pastor Ann out here rolling, and this is my standpoint right here. Sometimes we have to be radical. I mean, many of us have been going through some seriously toxic environment lately. And recently, I had to walk away from a very toxic environment. I mean, serious. Sometimes, just to keep the peace so you can continue to serve God in the right way and not sin against God unnecessarily. You have to take the initiative to change your environment, change your circumstances. And yes, things happen to pastors, things happen to Christians. It could be your journey, it could be your testimony, it could be your walk, it could be part of your process. But guess what? Are you just going to sit there and be silent and not willing to do something about it? Or are you going to get off your bottom and change something? In our congregation, in our church, the Lord is telling us that this is a year of taking over. We're going to be taking over. Are you going to take over sitting down, just being silent? Are you going to take over just, you're making excuses. You're trying, but things are not working. Have you been in that situation where, I want to hear your story, by the way. Have you been in that situation where you've tried so many things? You've been looking for jobs. See, this is me hanging on the road, hanging on the street. I've decided I have had enough. I'm out here in the, what do you call it? This is a plaza. This is where I slept last night. You see this right here? This is where I slept last night. And I did that because I'm just sick and tired. I've applied for several jobs. I mean, when I say several jobs, and it's not like, oh my God, I do so many things. But applying for jobs, and nothing's happening. But I was in a very, I would say, crippling situation. And I just decided, oh God, I'm going for a walk. I am sick and tired of this. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired and you're not doing anything about it? Well, get up. Do like me. Get off your bottom and go out and said, enough is enough. You're going to do something about it. Still, I've been offered 2 jobs. I'm a teacher. Amongst many things, I'm a teacher. But I mean, still being out there, living in a situation that is overbearing, abusive, compromised, and you're just sitting there and praying. Okay, you prayed. And then what? When you pray, you're not waiting on God. God is waiting on you to do something. Sometimes we have to be radical. Sometimes we have to go out. It's been very cold. Oh my God. Over the weekend, it's been absolutely cold. But I said, God, I am not going backwards. I have no intention to go backwards. Look, see? This is where I'm hanging out. And beside where I'm at right now, we're not even allowed to be homeless. People are not really allowed to be homeless in this environment. And some people are out there in the bushes with just a tent. I'm going to show you that another time. But I'm telling you, you can't just sit down and do nothing. I'm going to be showing you my progress. You just cannot sit down and do nothing. Came to me last night that I need to do something about it. Just came to me seems as if I was chosen. It's as if there was a meeting, and in that meeting, everyone was coming up to me and telling me, we want you to lead. We want you to lead us. We want you to do this. We want you to change. We want you to change this. We want you to change this. And this has been a passion of mine for many years. I know it's my assignment, and I know I have to do something about it. So sometimes you have to be radical. You may be going out there looking for, I've done many things. I look for grants. I look for loans. I look for private, private supporters or something. But sometimes it's not happening. You got to get up and do something. So what am I doing? Well, the first thing is to get up and take that first step. When God called Abraham, God called him. He didn't tell him what he was going to do. He just called him. Now, when he called him, he didn't just sit there. He got up and make the first step. Sometimes God is waiting on us to get up and make that first step. And you may think, oh, well, she's a pastor. You know, these things should happen to pastor. Hey, guess what? Pastors have a story. Abraham had a story. Moses had a story. Elijah had a story. You name them. Isaac had a story. Joseph has a story. So don't sit there and judge, because many times we sit down and we judge one another because we're thinking, oh, you're not supposed to go through that. But if you don't go through that, where's your testimony? If you don't go through that, you know, you won't know. We have work to do. And sometimes we're not doing the work we have to do. Sometimes we have to get out of our comfort zones and get up and do something different. Because if you sit down doing the same thing and it's not working, oh, trust me, I've done a lot of things. I make t-shirts. I build websites. I cook. I do catering. I do so many things. But guess what? Guess what? I have to go out and do differently from what I've been doing to make the changes that I want to see, to be able to do the things that I need to do. Okay, because you know, sometimes you are in an environment, you're in a waiting period. Have you ever been in a waiting period? It's like all these things you can do, but you're not able to do them at that time. It's like you're in I call it like a prison moment. You're waiting, you can't do this because you don't have the capacity to do it. When I say capacity, I mean the environment. The environment may not be conducive. You know, maybe you don't have, you know, listen, I have just not been able to do any of those things recently. And if I could, trust me, I would not be in this situation today, because I am a walk-in business. I'm a walk-in job. I am a walk-in job. But so many things happened. My vehicle was towed. I had to leave where I was living because my mom needed help. I had to go to where my mom was. I had to move to where she is so that I could assist her because she was manifesting symptoms of illness. And you know, I said, oh, I was living like 6 hours away, and I thought I want to be closer to her so I can assist. Ooh, sometimes you're trying to do good and it slap you in the face. Nevertheless, you never stop doing good. Okay, the Bible says you must never ever stop doing good, because it said, because one day those good things will be a reward to you. Okay, so just hang on in there. Oh, don't hang on in a toxic environment. Get up. It's time for us to move. You cannot sit down expecting something to happen when it's not happening. You may be doing a lot of things, because even though I may be applying for a job, I build websites, I make t-shirts, I do a lot of things. I'm still doing it. I'm going to show you the t-shirts that I design and make. In the next link, I'm going to show you, I'm going to send you some pictures of the t-shirts that I make. I create websites that I'm trying to actually do to raise funds to do some of the projects that I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm not just sitting down expecting things to happen. No, I'm doing, but I'm like, okay, I can't just sit here doing this. I got to do more. So here I am. I take this big step to go out. I mean, when I say cold right now, it's freezing cold and it's hot at the same time. And when it's hot in the day and it's cold in the night, it is extra cold, because we know hot and cold doesn't really work together. But nevertheless, I'm here to take over, to make changes. This is a year of taking over. This is a year of making change. And I'm going to make changes. I have been chosen to lead. I've been chosen to make a difference. So I'm going to make a difference. If I have to do it by myself, but here, you may be one of those people that God is calling and say, you got to do something. Then link with me. Let's make it happen, because we can make it happen. We are children of God. And with God, there's no limit except ourselves. We limit ourselves. So I bust out. I decided, you know, I'm not doing this no more. God, I'm not turning back. Yes, I've roughed it out for a moment. But guess what? I'm not ashamed of roughing it out so I can make a difference. I'm not ashamed to make change so I can see something other than what I've been seeing over the years. I'm not ashamed to do anything. I'm not ashamed to go sell some water out there in the street to change my circumstances. I'm not ashamed to go put a container, a tent up down the road and set up some grill and something and start cooking some food. I'm not ashamed of doing anything that is going to bring change, not only to myself, because a lot of times people want to change for themselves, but not only for myself, but for myself, my family, and for others. I certainly do not like to beg. So I have to come up with ways in which I can do something to earn something so I can make a difference. Besides, I'm a kingdom financier, it's not gonna, it just can't be like this. I have to do what I gotta do to do what I need to do. Hey, drop us a line. Tell us your story. We want to hear your story because, hey, we're going to make a change. We're going to make a difference. We are going to do things differently. Join me. Let's make some things. Let's do some things differently. Father, we just thank you for this moment that we're here sharing, changing, breaking some strongholds, breaking some stagnation, breaking some spirits that need to be out of the way so we can go ahead and do what we really need to do. Destroying some principalities and powers and standing up, going forward to take over, taking that step like Abraham so we can move mountain. The song, I was talking to a friend of mine, and this is the song the Lord put in my spirit. We can move mountain. We can cause walls to fall. We can move mountain. We can cause walls to fall. 'Cause I'm standing here only because you made a way. The way is not made by me. I'm not the one that can move the mountain. It's God that is going to move it through me. But I got to step out and do something different. You cannot sit down doing the same thing every day and expect to see the changes that you need to see. You have to get up and do something different. Be one of the 2%. Make it count. You can move mountains. You can cause walls to fall. You can move mountains. You can cause walls to fall. 'Cause I'm standing here only because he made a way. Who made a way? God. God made a way. He will always make a way. He will always make a way. But are you willing? Are you willing to allow God to use you to make a change in your family, in your home, in your environment? Are you willing to be that person? Be the one that counts. Make it count. God bless you. Love you. Stay in tune. Keep watching this space. Let's make it happen.